Hello everyone, fellow boxers. We're happy to see you again. And today, the fourth postulate, which is probably one of the most important ones of all, needs a very thorough and detailed breakdown. It is the powerful motivation of failure. You see, nothing motivates a person quite like failure does. Absolutely nothing makes you think deeply and worry about the future quite like the experience of failure does. How does this happen in boxing? Sometimes you step into the ring and your entire plan completely disintegrates and vanishes in the opening moments of the very first round. God forbid you suffer a devastating blow and fall heavily to the canvas in a knockdown. This is probably one of the most reliable ways to instantly dismantle and neutralize all the complex strategies you prepared for the fight. After you suffer a heavy and sudden knockdown, it is incredibly difficult to pull yourself back together both physically and mentally. And if you are not fully prepared for that exact moment, it is most likely that you will end up losing the fight entirely. During the intense preparation period, specifically in the rigorous training and sparring sessions leading up to important professional bouts, about a month before the fight, when all the heavy physical conditioning is finally finished and only the technical work, specific sparring drills, and skill-building exercises remain, my coach used to employ a very interesting, clever, and effective little trick to keep us sharp. Right after a grueling training session, when I was already feeling completely and utterly exhausted, he would then put me in the ring with a fresh, skilled boxer of about the same level. Of course, somewhere in the middle of the second round, I would be completely spent and collapse on the floor, utterly exhausted. It eventually reached a point of such overwhelming frustration that I even considered walking away from the sport of boxing. Because the crushing feeling that comes from failure is incredibly heavy, it really brings you down to your lowest point, especially since there's often no simple or clear explanation to make sense of it all. And most importantly, you just don't feel like you have the inner strength to endure those losses. To handle, how should I even put it? To see it all through the painful lens of all this suffering. The single most significant driving force for a boxer is need. Because you need to develop a very special, well, as they say, an incredibly rare and unique mindset, one that, regardless of your failures, will awaken and stimulate the very best qualities and strengths you have within you. For a long time, I didn't understand why my coach was doing this to me. And it even caused me a great deal of emotional pain, because in my case, it was really obvious. My coach's task, I was a very aggressive boxer, and probably the most important thing my coach ever did for me was teach me the vital lesson of how to endure and persevere through everything. And then, at one specific point, I finally went up to my head coach and asked him exactly why he was doing this to me, because my personal self-esteem just kept dropping lower and lower. Instead of building up a strong, winning mindset psychologically, I felt like I was slowly accumulating a losing one. The coach then told me a very interesting and profound parable that eventually put everything back into its proper place. There was a great king, so great that his fame spread throughout the land. And the king wanted to immortalize himself with a painting. He summoned a talented artist and said to him, "Paint me. Paint me in such a beautiful way that I will truly like myself." The artist painted him majestically on horseback, with a sharp saber in his hand, completely covered in shiny metals, looking very happy. The king looked closely at it. He didn't like it at all, because in real life he was one-eyed and had one noticeably short leg. He was quite lame. The second artist chose to paint the king exactly as he really was, both one-eyed and physically lame. The king was quite displeased by this, because the harshness of reality can sometimes be quite devastating to us, due to the fact that our own biased opinions often prevail and we think we are significantly better than we actually are. The third artist, having studied the experience of the first and second, painted the king on a hunt. He carefully placed the shorter prosthetic leg on a weathered log, and the empty socket of his missing eye was as if he was squinting and aiming straight down the long barrel of a rifle. The moral of this story lies in the unique and deeply personal perspective we form through our many failures. We literally give birth to this very most important and sacred secret. Perhaps the most terrifying enemy we face is despair. And in moments of deep despair, we must learn to find the inner strength to pull ourselves back together. Because when things don't go according to plan, they go according to another plan. And this should be something that is very well known and understood by you. The most reliable support is your own unwavering faith. You must learn to truly believe in yourself, no matter the circumstances, even in the most critical moments of crisis. By trusting in your individuality and relying on your own unique opinion. Setbacks and falls will inevitably happen. It is a part of life. The whole professional journey of a boxer is deeply intertwined with a highly specialized and disciplined psychological mindset, because the internal opinion we develop within ourselves should never depend on the external judgments or subjective opinions of others. It is a sense of complete and absolute freedom, which ultimately gives rise to incredible inner strength. The strongest teacher of all is bitter life experience. And bitter experience leads the warrior to action. Having a bitter experience makes you act a little differently. It is not like everyone else, and certainly not like anything usual. Something profound appears deep inside a person that, in a truly incredible way, gathers every bit of their willpower and all of their deepest aspirations. Many times throughout my life, I have seen young boys, even after such devastating falls, go on to win in what can only be described as a completely miraculous and awe-inspiring way. And such things are very, very precious and valuable. What is the difference between a warrior and a fool? A warrior always acts, a fool reacts. So in your case, my friends, if you are preparing for upcoming fights, you really shouldn't just assume that it will go this way or that way. Most likely, there will be a third option that you do not expect. It's impossible to prepare for everything. But for the primary and most essential elements, those scenarios that are easy to anticipate, you shouldn't just be fully prepared and ready for action. You should be exceptionally well versed and deeply familiar with them. And in that deep moment of exhaustion and fatigue, when you feel lost and unsure of what to do next, that is exactly when this powerful internal mechanism kicks in, the one you have built and strengthened through your past failures. And it is precisely the failures and setbacks you face that will put you on the most resilient and powerful path possible, the one that leads you directly toward a lasting victory, no matter what challenges arise. I've been knocked down several times, but I've never been knocked out. But it is an extremely tough and difficult state to be in, because, well, deep inside of you there is just this sheer, overwhelming terror that simply wipes out your entire mental program. In my case, it was remarkably straightforward for me, because thanks to my coach and thanks to this preparation, I had a comprehensive backup plan, specifically for this very kind of situation. Yes, it is almost impossible to pull yourself together, but deep inside you there is this, well, precious mother of pearl, which you have already suffered for in the past. And it no longer matters to you how people look at you or what they say about you. What matters to you is something else, whether you can handle yourself, get up, and continue the fight. Your own internal opinion must dominate within you, and your opinion must be unwavering and absolutely free, so that you understand with complete and total clarity exactly what you need to do. You must pull yourself together, stand back up, and keep on fighting. One of the most profoundly interesting moments you will ever experience after you find yourself struggling to get up from a heavy knockdown is the process of pulling yourself back together. This isn't just about the simple act of mobilizing your willpower. Rather, it is about the deeper perspective of truly understanding your reality. You must realize that if you choose not to get up, you lose that very sense of self-respect, that unique, trembling feeling, and the sense of victory. It is the sweetest possible sensation, the lingering, incredible aftertaste that comes only from having achieved the impossible against all odds. And so, despite everything that has happened, you find the strength to get up and continue the fight. It's not easy at all, but if it should happen to occur even once in your life, it will remain etched in your memory forever. The bond between a coach and a student must be exceptionally profound and incredibly close. There should be no breaks in it at all. Your coach must understand you 100%. Where he is leading you, why and for what reason he is preparing you in this particular way. His personal thoughts and perspectives were so incredibly close to my own that our opinions aligned perfectly in almost every single aspect. And my coach would always seem to discover the exact right words or combination of words that made me get up and keep fighting, no matter what. But let me emphasize this point once again. My own personal situation is not necessarily the same as your unique case. My extensive experience can help you properly assess the situation and eventually come out of it as a winner. However, you must realize that you don't always have to win every battle. Sometimes it is actually necessary for you to lose in order to understand the reasons for failure and exactly how you need to act next time to achieve a lasting victory. So guys, don't limit yourselves by other people's opinions. Learn to form your own opinion. It is this perspective that will serve as a guide for you throughout your life. Guys, I truly wish you the very best of luck in your upcoming training sessions. Please weigh things very carefully and be incredibly precise in your daily schedules. And I really want each of you to become much more successful and even happier, all thanks to a wonderful sport like boxing. May God help you on this journey. I am wishing everyone an abundance of kindness, peace, and genuine love.